Hello, everybody. I have a quick presentation going to present to all of you talking about floors in the amazing world beneath your feet. So if you are new to this account, you might be wondering, floors, really? So yeah, we are talking about floors here. We're going to go over why you should care about these different floors, and we're also going to rank these different floors. Did someone mention an aisle of trials? No, we're talking about pile styles, not to be confused with Harry Styles. So yeah, bit of a cheesy animation, trying to make it more fun. But here are generally your three major pile styles for carpeting. I believe in the beginning of this account we talked a little bit about this. If you want more detailed information, I'm going to try to gloss over it. But first we have cut pile. These are like finely woven and twisted, and they're generally kind of shorter because they're twisted up in your carpet. Then you also have loop pile, which tend to be a bit larger because they're in a loop, which namely has an effect on appearance. And there's a loop cut loop, and this kind of takes some of the durability that cut pile has and mixes it in with the loop pile almost fluffiness. Although a notable difference between cut pile and loop pile is that animal claws like cats and dogs can get caught in loop pile carpeting, so it may not be the best choice for animal owners. So as someone who loves having cats and dogs in my house, loop pile style would not be the best option for you. Cut pile, on the other hand, is completely pet safe and generally tends to be more durable. Like I said, loop cut loop tries to get that same best of both worlds, although because it still has some loops, animal claws can get caught in the carpeting, so that is something to consider. Also, notably, you should mention that there are other types, like there's frise and cable/shag. So like a shag carpet might be like a throw carpet you put down. Frise, same thing with different carpetings. These generally will have an effect on appearance. There is some slightly different durability things there, but generally that's your biggest thing to worry about. Although, now that I'm talking about it, cable/shag carpets and sometimes frise as well, because they kind of intertwine a lot, they can be more difficult to clean and dust can build up. So remember, cleaning a carpet is super important. We had a post about that you can check as well. But that is something else that you would need to consider, which is why we rank the following. We put cut pile at A, shag, frise at B, and you put loop pile at C. Personally, I put loop pile in C because I'm a huge animal person, and the thought that could be an issue or my animals ripping up my carpeting, not worth it. Cut pile is just standard, put it in A. Cable/shag and frise, very solid options though, so you put those in B tier. Loop cut loop, once again, I feel like it's generally going to be more expensive than a cut pile and a loop pile. So even though it might try to bring some of those worlds together, is because it still has that drawback from loop pile, at least to some degree with animals, I just put it in C because it's more expensive and you're still getting that negative drawback like I talked about. So next we're going to talk about carpet materials, and I made a funny little meme here about nylon carpet. So we have different materials here. So I demonstrated polyester, nylon, and wool. Now, on the left side of the screen, you'll notice that these are all wool carpet, but they are of different cut styles. So the top one is a looped pile, the middle one is a cut pile, and the bottom one is a cable/shag carpet. So you'll see that even though these are all the same materials, they look and even feel different. So that is something you want to keep in mind when you are judging different carpeting materials is that the cut also plays a huge difference. So when you look at that wool carpeting, right there, it looks like you're looking at looped pile carpeting. You can't say, oh, I'm not a huge fan of that. I really like the nylon one, because maybe you actually like the feeling of wool more, but because it's in looped and you don't like looped, but you prefer shag carpeting, you might think you like nylon more, but a wool shag carpet might be more for you. So that is something to consider, that generally when you are comparing different materials, you want to kind of compare in a single cut style, but different materials do play a big role on durability, on price, cleanliness, and how you can clean those. So those are things that you would all want to look into. Generally speaking, though, wool is going to be kind of a more expensive options in some scenarios, but it generally tends to be more durable, and it's a staple in a lot of American households for a reason. Polyester, nylon tend to fall a little bit behind in these categories, but still, once again, very solid options. Which is why we put wool in A tier and polyester and nylon in B tier. Once again, very solid carpeting, but wool is a staple. I believe we talked about this a little bit in some previous posts if you want to elaborate. Next, we're going to talk about bamboo flooring and the types of bamboo flooring. So on the left side of the screen, you will see there's horizontal, strand woven, and vertical. So this is all bamboo flooring, but it is in different types, obviously, of how they are laid out. Generally, horizontal and vertical are probably going to be about the same price. It is just different looks. I believe they have the same durability as well. However, strand woven is generally going to be a bit more expensive, but it is also a bit more durable than a horizontally or vertically laid bamboo flooring. So that might be something you want to consider if you are putting bamboo flooring somewhere. We put bamboo flooring in A tier. It's great flooring. I have not done this presentation in a few months, like I said, so a lot of this information is not right off the top of my head, but it is a very solid flooring. It is eco-friendly, and you can get it for a relatively cheap price compared to some other floorings, depending on your location and a lot of other factors, but bamboo flooring is generally a pretty good option as far as durability goes and eco-friendliness. So next we're going to talk about cork flooring, which might sound a bit odd to some people, but cork flooring is, so first I want to talk about a big drawback that some people might have. Cork flooring tends to be a bit malleable. So if you have a couch or a table that you are sliding around or that gets bumped, it might leave dents in your cork flooring. So that is something you want to be cautious about depending, but it gives off a very warm feeling. It has great acoustics. Generally, cork flooring is also going to be pretty inexpensive. Cleaning can be a bit iffy for cork flooring. It's a bit almost back and forth with, it is difficult to keep in a great condition, but it is easy enough to clean on surface areas, but residue and cork flooring is actually pretty good for keeping out mold and other stuff. So if you want more specific details, I believe we did post on cork flooring. If not, we will do one in the future with more in-depth details. But cork flooring I put in C tier. Generally just not the best flooring, especially the how malleable it is. Generally, if you want a flooring, I feel when you invest in something as important as flooring, you're going to want something that is long lasting, and I put durability as something that is very important. So I put it at a C tier because it does not have a very long lifespan, to be completely candid, if it is not kept in a fantastic condition, which if you're putting in your house, there is going to be a lot of opportunities for your flooring to get ruined. So next I wanted to talk about hardwood flooring. Hardwood flooring is absolutely amazing. It is generally about mid-price range. It can get a bit pricey depending sometimes. It has a great look to it. You can do finishes on your flooring so you can get different looks. It has a great durability in a lot of American households. It is easy to clean. It is also pretty easy to install, which some things like cork flooring, which I did not mention before, also a bit difficult installation process compared to some other floorings. Hardwood flooring is a bit more easy, and you could, depending on how confident you are in your skills and to learn, you could install your own hardwood flooring. Once again, take that with a grain of salt. But it is something that you can more reasonably do than some other floorings on this list. Hardwood flooring, though, very solid, which is why we put hardwood flooring in A tier. It's just a very reliable floor. It has a super long life if kept in good condition. Something to keep in mind is as it gets older, it might start to creak, but that is easily remedied with replacements of a few boards or something of the sort. So pretty solid flooring. Next, I want to talk about vinyl flooring. And to be completely candid, it is absolutely awful. I would not recommend vinyl flooring whatsoever. So to start off, why, I first want to talk about some huge benefits. Vinyl flooring generally is super inexpensive. So if you are shopping on a budget, maybe vinyl flooring actually would be something for you. It is also super easy to install. Like you see the bottom two images, people are putting them in, and it's easy. It's not a difficult process to put in vinyl flooring. Although vinyl flooring does not have a super long durability and lifespan, its edges can start to peel up and come off pretty easily. Also, with older vinyl flooring, there's a chance that there's asbestos in it, which is absolutely awful. So if you are removing vinyl flooring and it is old vinyl flooring, you may want to get that checked out by a professional first in case there is asbestos in your flooring. You do not want to release that into your house. There is still a chance. Now they've banned vinyl flooring from being made with asbestos or the chemicals that can cause asbestos now, but there's still a lot of different chemicals like flame retardants and other stuff that are put into vinyl floorings, and chemicals which aren't put in the same quantity that vinyl flooring has is in vinyl flooring. So like other floorings, they do not tend to have this many chemicals put into them. Vinyl flooring, because it is so synthetic, it has a lot of different chemicals depending. So if you were going to get vinyl flooring, I would recommend you try to be very sure with the retailer or company that you are buying from. But when we go to rank it, I put vinyl flooring in D tier because, once again, it's just such a bad flooring that you should not have to worry about your health so much and be so careful with who you are purchasing this flooring from, because it has such a chance to pose a risk to your health, and the durability is awful. But once again, if you are shopping on a budget, vinyl flooring might just be what is economically feasible for you at the time. So solid D tier floor. Next, I want to talk about Flotex flooring. So, not to lie, but this is my personal favorite flooring. This kind of is it takes the best of both worlds from like hardwoods and carpets. It is soft underfoot like a carpet is, but it is hard and it is able to be washed like it is a hardwood flooring. It has super long durability. It also has photorealistic imaging printing put onto the flooring, so you can get all sorts of different designs and stuff. It is absolutely amazing. And Affordable Flooring Systems, the company that puts in Flotex floorings, is absolutely amazing. They have great service there. I should say I've not personally gone through them, but looking through the reviews and the work that they've done, it seems to be absolutely amazing. It is easily one of the most extensively covered floor on this account at the time of this. So if you want more information, you can look a bit there, or we can do more posts in the future. But I had to expand the list and put Flotex flooring in S tier because it takes the cake. It does tend to be more expensive, and there might be some restrictions in installations depending on how much space you have to work with. But if you work with Affordable Flooring Systems, they will try to fit the designs with whatever room you are putting it into. So definitely an S tier floor overall. So next I want to talk about penny flooring. This is going to be the final one we're going to talk about. And personally, I think penny flooring looks absolutely atrocious. I think there might be some times when penny flooring can be cooler, like in the top image next to the tree. That looks okay, that's cool. I mean, you could easily put in like some tiled flooring to get some sort of cool design like that, or you could paint over a floor. So there's a lot of other ways to achieve this other than pennies. But some of the huge drawbacks to penny flooring is how difficult installation is. You generally are not going to find like a contractor or someone that is going to install a penny flooring for you. It is a very much a DIY, do-it-yourself project to put this flooring together. So overall, this flooring is not great for installation. The pricing can be pretty cheap if you are putting it in a smaller room, because you just need all these pennies, and then you got to put on your finishing over top of it to seal it all in there. But this can take an awfully lot of time, and if you start to do it in larger rooms, it very quickly goes from being a pretty inexpensive project to being extremely expensive and costing way more than putting in a regular flooring would. Not because of all the pennies that you're laying down necessarily, but because of the price it costs to put this finishing or coat over top of these pennies. Starts to add up very fast as you put it over a larger amount of space. So overall, the my personal opinion of how ugly it looks and the extremely inefficient installation process and pricing, I had to actually expand the tier list just so I could put it at F tier. I personally hope I never have to come across this floor in person, although I'm sure if you came across it, there could be instances of it being kind of cool or a fun project to do, but it definitely requires a lot of commitment and is not for everyone. That was my personal interpretation of Flotex flooring destroying penny flooring for anyone that was wondering. So that is going to wrap up this slideshow. I know it might have seemed haphazard at certain times with me stumbling over my wording or there not being as consistent facts about some of these floors as seen in some previous posts. But like I said, this is a bit of an old project. I just wanted to make sure it made it out to the account. And I hope that this at least gives you a decent idea on my personal opinion for these different floorings. And if you want more information, please leave a comment or message and we can expand more on these floors because, like I might have mentioned before, I do have a lot of knowledge on each of these different floors, but kind of while just quickly putting this together, it might not all have come out fluently. And we have covered some of this, but something that is very important to note is that flooring is unique to everyone. You're going to have your own personal preferences. Your flooring might be needed for different things, like locations of what room you're putting it in, if it's in high traffic areas, depending on your location, the installation fees, what you can do by yourself or who you're working, like having work for your floors. So there's a lot of different factors to consider. So my hope is that this information can help you get an idea of where to start looking for your own flooring, to do your own research, because that's really going to be how you find the best flooring for you. There are a lot of other resources out there that you can use as well. So if you need any of those resources, you can obviously refer here, or I can provide other resources if that is necessary. So thank you for taking the time to listen to this, and see you all later.